Okay, let's crack our heads around this. The rental market, right? It always feels like a bit of a challenge, doesn't it? Whether you're, looking for a place or maybe you own one.
It really does. What's the actual price? How long are things taking? You hear different things. It's hard to know what's really going on without some solid data.
Yeah, anecdotes only get you so far. So for this deep dive, we're zeroing in Pima County, Southern Arizona, the rental scene, and we've got the very latest numbers from May 2025.
That's right. Our source is a report, a pretty detailed one, from the Multiple Listing Service of Southern Arizona. You might know them as MLSAZ. They're kind of the main hub for real estate info here.
Mm-hmm.
And this report, it gives us a really concrete look at what happened just last month.
Okay, so our goal here is to dig into that report, pull out the key stuff, define the numbers, and figure out what it actually means for you if you're involved in the Pima County market.
Right. So let's start with the big picture for May 2025. The report puts the median lease price at $1,795.
Okay, 1,795 median, so half cheaper, half more expensive. Often a better gauge than average, right?
Exactly. And in May, there were 218 leases signed. The total monthly rental volume for those was just over $400,000.
Oh.
About $406,895, actually.
Wow, okay, so a decent amount of activity. What about how long things sat on the market?
Good question. The median days on market was 30 days.
30 days, so like a month typically from listing to getting a lease signed.
Pretty much. And interestingly, the average place leased for just under the asking price, it was minus 0.22% compared to the list price.
Okay, so slightly below asking. Now, how does that stack up against, say, last year, May 2024?
Well, comparing May 25 to May 24, that median lease price, $7,795. It's almost flat. Just down 0.3%, really marginal.
Okay.
The number of leases signed, 218, that's also down slightly by 1.4%. But the days on market, that 30 days, actually up by 3 days from last May.
Okay, so taking a little bit longer to rent out compared to a year ago.
Seems like it. And that shift you mentioned, from slightly over asking last May to slightly under asking this May, that minus 0.22% figure compared to last year's positive number, it sort of reinforces that things might have cooled just a touch.
Right, list upward pressure maybe?
Mm-hmm.
And if we look at the whole year so far, like January through May 2025, does that trend hold?
It does, yeah. The year-to-date median lease price for 2025 is $750. That's actually down 2.5% from the $1,800 median for the same period in 2024.
Okay, bit more noticeable there.
And the year-to-date median days on market, it's 34 days this year, which is up quite a bit from 28 days last year.
So, yeah, the trend seems consistent then. Properties taking longer, median price a little softer than 2024, generally speaking.
That seems to be the overall picture so far this year.
What about inventory? Like how many places are actually available?
Okay, so in May, there were 300 new rental listings that came online, and 99 leases went into that pending status.
Right.
As of when the report was run, there were 712 active rental listings on the market.
712.
Yeah.
And they translate that into months of supply.
Yeah, the months of supply calculation came out to 3.27 months. So basically, if no new listings came on, it would take just over 3 months to rent everything out at the current pace.
Which is generally seen as pretty balanced, right? Not strongly favoring landlords or tenants.
Around 3 to 4 months, yeah, that's often considered kind of an equilibrium point. But here's where it gets really interesting. A bit of a twist.
Oh.
Remember how we said the overall average was slightly under asking, that negative 0.22% figure?
Yeah.
Well, the report breaks it down by price range, and it turns out that slight discount isn't happening everywhere.
Wait, so some price points are still going over asking.
Exactly, higher price ranges specifically. In May, leases in the $2,500 to $2,999 range actually went for an average of 1.35% over the asking price.
Whoa, okay.
And even leases at $3,000 or more per month, they were still slightly over asking too, at 0.35% above list.
So that's a really different story than the lower price points, which must be pulling the average down.
Precisely. It suggests that while, yeah, the overall market might be a bit softer, there's still some serious competition, maybe even bidding wars, happening for those more expensive rentals.
That's a crucial detail. It's not one size fits all out there.
Definitely not. The report also gives us median prices by bedroom count for May. Like a typical one-bedroom went for $875.
Okay.
A three-bedroom median was $1,815, and a four-bedroom was $2,200. Just gives you a feel for different size places.
Right, useful benchmarks. Okay, so let's try to summarize. What are the main takeaways from this May data?
Well, think the big picture from the MLSSAZ report is that the Pima County rental market overall shows signs of, let's say, easing compared to last year. Median prices slightly down year to date, total leases down a bit, things taking a bit longer to rent.
That seems clear.
Hmm.
But the really key insight, the thing that stands out, is that it's not uniform, right? That split between the price ranges is significant.
Absolutely. While the overall average might be slightly below asking, you've got this real heat, this competitive activity happening specifically at the higher end, pushing those prices above asking.
Understanding that difference is, well, it's super valuable, isn't it? Whether you're a renter trying to figure out what you're up against, or you're a landlord trying to price your property effectively.
Exactly. Knowing where the demand is strongest or how long different types of properties are taking to move, that's actionable intelligence.
It really is. So I guess the question this data leaves us with, something for you to think about, is this. We see these mixed signals, a bit of overall cooling, longer times on market, but then the strong competition at higher price points. What does that really tell us about the different kinds of pressures and maybe the different types of renters shaping the Pima County market right now? And how might those underlying differences affect your plans?